The Star Trek universe has never shied away from time travel, alternate timelines, or boldly venturing into the past of its own lore. Over the decades, prequels have become a significant part of Star Trek's storytelling toolbox, filling in gaps, deepening character backstories, and sometimes rewriting the history of the future. From big-screen adventures to serialized streaming shows, these prequels have sparked heated debates among fans and critics alike. Here's every Star Trek prequel ranked from worst to best, based on storytelling, character development, respect for canon, and overall impact on the franchise. 9. Star Trek, the animated series, Yesteryear in 1973. While not a full prequel series, Yesteryear deserves a mention for being Star Trek's first real prequel-style story. This TAS episode explores Spock's childhood on Vulcan, providing surprising emotional depth, especially for a 1970s Saturday morning cartoon. But despite its impact and the fact that many fans consider it soft canon, it's limited by its format and era. The animation is stiff, the pacing rushed, and its insights into Spock's youth, though poignant, are brief. Prequel impact. Half. Best part, Spock meeting his younger self. Why it's low, it's a one-off and more of a footnote than a foundational prequel. 8. Star Trek, The Cage 1965 by 1988. Technically the very first Star Trek episode ever produced, The Cage wasn't broadcast in full until decades later. Serving as a proto-Trek with Captain Christopher Pike and Number 1, it feels like an alternate universe pilot rather than a prequel proper. It's deeply philosophical and slow-paced by modern standards. While fascinating as a relic of what might have been, The Cage lacks the energy and emotional connectivity of later Trek installments. Prequel impact. Half. Best part, Jeffrey Hunter's introspective Pike. Why it's low, historically important but not emotionally gripping. 7. Star Trek, Enterprise 2001 to 2005. Enterprise was Trek's first full-blown prequel series, set 100 years before the original series. Despite the brilliant idea of showing the foundation of Starfleet and early space exploration, the show often felt confused about its identity, vacillating between retro and overly sleek aesthetics. It didn't help that the theme song became infamous among fans. But by Season 3, Enterprise found its footing with the Xindi arc, and its fourth season gave us some of the best prequel storytelling ever, tying directly into TOS lore. Prequel impact. Best part, Season 4's multi-episode arcs exploring the birth of the Federation. Why it's mid-tier, a rocky start, poor ratings, and a terrible finale, these are the voyages. 6. Star Trek, Discovery Seasons 1 to 2 2017 to 2019. Discovery was marketed as a TOS-era prequel, set a decade before Kirk's 5-year mission. It introduced us to Michael Burnham, Spock's adoptive sister, an idea that split the fandom down the middle. Canon inconsistencies, ultra-futuristic tech, and an often overly grim tone made it hard to reconcile with classic Trek. Still, Discovery wasn't without merit. Its visuals were stunning, and its reimagined Klingons and morally gray arcs offered a fresh, if divisive, perspective. Prequel impact. Half. Best part, Season 2's Pike-centric episodes and Anson Mount's commanding performance. Why it's mid-tier, disjointed tone, and a prequel that eventually abandons the past to jump 900 years into the future. 5. Star Trek, First Contact 1996. Though First Contact is primarily a TNG film, its core mission involves traveling to Earth's past and ensuring that humanity makes first contact with the Vulcans. That event, April 5, 2063, is one of the most pivotal in Star Trek history. The Borg's attempt to sabotage this moment turns the movie into an accidental prequel of sorts, revealing the gritty, post-World War III era Earth. James Cromwell's portrayal of Zefram Cochrane is both humorous and tragically human, redefining a previously idealized historical figure. Prequel impact. Best part, the Vulcans' arrival and Cochrane's famous handshake. Why it's ranked here, it's not a full prequel, but its impact on Trek's mythology is massive. 4. Star Trek, Strange New Worlds 2022 present. An indirect sequel to Discovery Season 2 and a direct prequel to TOS, Strange New Worlds is the best of both worlds. It respects legacy canon while embracing modern storytelling techniques. Anchored by Anson Mount's fan-favorite Captain Pike, it leans into episodic adventures with a healthy dose of serialized character development. From Uhura's training to Nurse Chapel's emotional arc and Spock's internal conflict, S&W carefully fleshes out familiar faces while introducing compelling new ones. The show also offers clever nods to future events, especially Pike's tragic fate. Prequel impact. Half. Best part. Episode 1.10. A Quality of Mercy reimagining balance of terror from Pike's perspective. Why it's not higher yet. Still ongoing, and while strong, it's occasionally uneven. 3. Star Trek 2009 Kelvin Timeline Reboot. J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot is both a prequel and an alternate timeline. While purists initially balked at the hyperactive lens flares and recasting of iconic characters, the 2009 film re-energized the franchise for a new generation. By sending a Romulan time traveler back to destroy Vulcan, Star Trek 2009 set itself in a new reality that freed it from canon constraints. But it still honored the spirit of the originals, especially through Leonard Nimoy's poignant return as Spock Prime. Prequel impact. Half. Best part. Kirk's evolution from rebellious cadet to starship captain. Why it's so high. Balances homage with bold reinvention and emotional stakes. 2. Star Trek. Picard Season 2 Episode Monsters 2022. Although Picard is a sequel series, parts of its second season serve as deep prequels into Jean-Luc Picard's childhood, particularly the trauma surrounding his mother's mental health and eventual suicide. It's an emotional retcon, and while divisive, it finally explains the stoicism and pain Picard has carried for decades. These flashbacks humanize him beyond the composed Starfleet icon. They give us a haunted, vulnerable boy who became one of the galaxy's greatest minds. Prequel impact. Best part, young Picard's haunting scenes in the solarium. Why it's ranked this high, a masterclass in character-driven prequel storytelling, small scale but deeply personal. 1. Star Trek, Short Treks, Q&A and the Trouble with Edward 2019. Though brief, short tracks offered surprisingly powerful prequel tales. Q&A showcases Spock's first day aboard the Enterprise and his awkward but endearing interactions with Number 1. The Trouble with Edward provides an origin story for the Tribbles that hilariously recontextualizes a TOS classic. What makes these episodes shine is their concise focus, witty writing, and deep character insights. Q&A in particular provides more insight into Spock's inner conflict in 15 minutes than some full-length episodes manage. Prequel impact. Best part, Number 1 singing Gilbert and Sullivan with a stunned young Spock. Why it's #1, short, sharp, and pitch-perfect in tone, these bite-sized prequels do everything right. Final thoughts. The Star Trek franchise has always celebrated looking forward, but its forays into the past have yielded some of its most intriguing, emotional, and innovative stories. Whether exploring the birth of the Federation, the roots of iconic characters, or pivotal moments in galactic history, Trek's prequels remind us that the journey to the stars was never easy or inevitable. Of Trek prequels may just be